Grab your glue guns because these Dollar Tree Christmas DIYs are about to shine. 3 charger plate decor ideas, rustic, lighted, and elegant, that will make your holiday home sparkle.
Hi, I'm Loli, and I'm so glad you are here.
For this project, I'll be using this charger plate that I got from Dollar General. However, Dollar Tree carries one as well. And this metal plate that I got from Temu. It comes with a plastic in the back, so remove that. Then added a combination of UHU glue and hot glue to the charger plate, and then position my deer image. It's important to do this very quickly because a hot glue dries so fast when it touches that metal. Now we are going to use these to embellish it, but first we're going to use these ribbons from Dollar Tree to create a bow. I'm going to use the biggest one as a base, and I'm going to do an awareness bow, crisscrossing it as you see there, making sure that my tails are long enough and that my bow is not lopsided. Then I took this mesh piece also from Dollar Tree, and first I thought I was going to just create a smaller crisscross bow as you see there, but it was too short. So I decided to just go ahead and create it into one single loop that will go at the top section of the bow. Then I cinched everything in the middle and took a piece of floral wire from Dollar Tree and tied this bow at the center. But I'm not going to tighten it all the way yet because we need to make sure that we have everything nice and straight before we commit. A few moments later, you're going to see me tighten this up to, actually no, I'm still fluffing. We're going to fluff and make sure that everything is straight, that we don't have to pull off of some of the tails. And now that we're happy, now we're going to tighten it up and cut off the excess using our wire cutters. Then we're going to dovetail the tails. So we're going to just go ahead and fold it vertically as you see there, and then cut upward in a angle. And do the same thing with the other one as well, making sure that both sides are pretty much at the same length. Now we're going to take a little bit of hot glue, add it to the back of our bow, and position it right here at the top of our charger. Now comes the greenery. I got these from Walmart for 98 cents. I'm going to use just one of them. I took it apart, just removing that paper and then pulling them apart. I'm going to cut off most of the wire section from the bottom of them, and I'm going to arrange these in the sides of my bow. As you see, they're trying to have them drape. This one had a little bit more than the other one, so I removed that one piece. And I'm going to switch them around because I like how the other one was curved closest to the shape of the charger, so that made everything more symmetrical. Now that I'm happy with it, I'm going to add hot glue right behind that bow and position the stem on top of it and let it dry. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side also. And I'm being careful to just have the greenery there dry. I don't want the bow to be glued down. Then I took these natural color beads that I got from, I believe I got this from Michael's. And I wasn't sure I wanted them, so I decided to try the white ones instead. I thought this will be more cohesive. So here are both of them after I threaded them. Which one will you have chosen, the white ones or the natural color ones? I went with the white ones. Let me know in the comment section which one will you have chosen. I'm going to go ahead and just tie a knot on both ends of that jute cord, cut off any excess jute cord that I have remaining, and glue this to the back of my charger plate. And as I'm gluing this in the back of my charger, I'm going to also add some masking tape on top of the hot glue just to provide a bit more security to this. And what I did to this side, I also did to the other. And that is it for this one. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this project? I am in love with it. Friend, today's video is part of the Everything Crafting collaboration that is hosted by Ladybird Crafting and our gray house. And their guest host this month is a perfect place to start. The links to their channels and to their playlist will be linked in the description box below and also pinned in the comments. Make sure to head on over to their channels, their playlist, and show everyone some love. For this project, I'll be using this charger plate that I got some years back from Dollar Tree and some of these stickers that I got from Ollie's. I'm going to remove the letters that spell NOEL. I'm just going to place them on my chargers very lightly. And once I'm happy with the spacing, then I'm going to go ahead and rub them down and make sure that they attach firmly. Next, I took some of my full card rich black chalk paint and I'm going to paint the back section or this bottom section of the tray and being very careful to cut on the edges very closely. But if you do get some paint in the edges, don't you worry, because I'll be showing you a trick that easily cleans up chalk paint off a plastic. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the paint on the entire thing, making sure that I add it also all over the letters, making sure I have no missing areas because I want to cover this completely. Now I'm going to take my Cricut pick and we are going to remove all of those sticker letters. And that's going to reveal behind it the pattern that we have underneath, which will match the sides. And I thought this was a beautiful look. There were some places in which the stickers kind of, got a little bit too wet and soggy. So I had it tear off, but I just took my pick, took my time, removed those edges, and then slowly removed all of the letters before the paint dried. Now comes the trick. We're going to take our little Cricut spatula, as you see, and we're going to just scrape off those sections. And you can do it in a downward motion, so everything will be nice and even, and you will have no scratch marks. And to get even closer in there, you can always use a little weather as well. Just here, you got to be very, very careful with it because you will scratch your project. Now we're going to take some of these little picks from Dollar Tree, these pine ties. I can't remember what you call them. And we're going to trim them a little bit. I'm just going to take my small scissors and just trim about a third of the leaves. I didn't like how messy they were, and I didn't want them to cover the letters as much. So we're going to give them a little haircut. Then I glued one whole one to both of the vertical sides there of this sign. I'm just going to use some hot glue to do that. I'm just going to do a nice bead of hot glue on there, then position it in place, making sure that it's nice and even, that my edges are not too high or too low. Place it there until it dried, and then I did the same thing with the other one as well. And then once I got to the bottom one here, I'm going to use the third piece that I used here. I'm sorry for the shaking here, guys. I didn't even realize that my table shake as I was doing this. I apologize. We're going to measure the third one here and then just take my wire cutters and just trim it off on there. Add some hot glue on the bottom and position it on top of the other two, making sure not to cover the bottom of the L. And I did the same thing with the top. Now we're going to use some of these berries that I got from Hobby Lobby. I'm just going to remove that wire section from them and then glue them onto my greenery. I'm going to start with the corners right here, and then I'm going to try to space this out. I did about a 4-finger width between each one of the berries, making sure that my berries ended on the corners so everything looks nice and symmetrical. If you're with me for a while, you know that how I feel about symmetry. And this is what it looked like. Now we're going to create a hanger. First, I was thinking about green beads. Then I changed my mind and went with black. Which one would you have chosen, the green beads or the black ones? Let me know in the comment section. Anyway, I took a piece of jute cord and added a little bit of hot glue to the end to make it stiff, and then threaded my beads onto there. I used a total of 15 beads to create my hanger. Once I was done with that, I'm going to do a knot on each side of the jute cord. And then I'm going to trim off any excess jute cord that I have behind. I'm going to flip over my charger. And using some hot glue and some masking tape, we're going to attach the jute cord for the hanger right here on the sides. I like adding the masking tape on top of the hot glue while it's still hot, because it just gives it an extra layer of stability, because sometimes hot glue does not like to stay on smooth plastic. And what I did to this side, I did to the other. If you enjoyed this project, go ahead and hit the like button and let me know in the comment section where you're watching from. I love to know how far my videos are reaching. Thank you. And that is it for this one. Let me know what you think. For this project, I'll be using this new charger plate I found this weekend at Dollar Tree. Yes, guys, look out for it. I absolutely love it. I got 4 of them. Anyway, I'm going to take this other lighted snowflake that I got also from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint it with my rich black chalk paint. Once that dries, I'm going to go ahead and reposition that light into that hole. And it was a little bit too small because I stole it from another piece, to be honest. I don't know what happened to the one that came with this one. But anyway, we added hot glue to make sure that it did not fall down. And then I'm adding some hot glue on the edges as well to make sure that it's extra reinforced. And also make sure that it's flush with the wood as well. Now we're going to take our charger and we're going to just add this to the center, but hot glue does not like smooth surface. So we're going to go ahead and sand it off a little bit where we will be adding the glue. Now we're going to add a nice amount of hot glue there and position this in the middle. Guys, here I messed up. I should have done a hole in my charger first for my light. I completely forgot. But you know what? That's fine. Afterwards, I took the sticker off of the back and I'm going to take my hot tool here and having a very light hand, I'm going to slowly chip away at the plastic with it, being careful not to go too deep because I do not want to melt my light that I have behind the charger plate right here. So I started very small, as you see there, just, chipping away, kind of like an archaeologist. So please don't go through this. Just go ahead and do your hole first and then put your light on top of that hole. I just kept going at it until I got all the way back there and I was able to turn it off and on. Then I took some of this Krylon gold paint and with the chip brush, I'm just going to go ahead and distress this. I started very, very lightly first because I was not sure how much gold I wanted on this. And I just kept building on it and building on it until I had it look exactly how I liked it. I did not know how much it was until the moment that I got to it. Do you guys go through that? All right, so here we had enough. We are going to now take this ornament that I got from Dollar Tree some years back. We're going to remove that hanger. And I'm going to use a combination of UHU glue and hot glue to add it right here. And making sure to line up the edges of that snowflake with the wooden one so it would look like it was meant to be just like that. I added the hot glue to the wood because when you add it to the metal, it dries a lot quicker. All right, now we're going to take some of these pine picks from Dollar Tree. They have some gold to it. I'm going to cut off the wire section and position one at each peak of the snowflakes right here in the opening. And once I had them all positioned, I'm going to just take some hot glue and add them to that edge right here that will be attached in the middle there. Held it in place until that hot glue dried. And I did that to every single piece, being sure to maintain it exactly where the peak of the wooden snowflake is. Once I went all the way around, now we are going to take some of this ribbon and use it as our hanger. We're going to flip that over, cut a piece that will be big enough to create a loop at the top, and then I'm going to glue the glittery portion onto the charger plate there. The charger plate, as you see there, adding a generous amount of hot glue onto the plastic and holding it there in place. Being very careful not to burn myself. You can use finger protectors for this. And I did the same thing to the other side. And that is it for this one. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this project? And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much. And don't forget the notification bell. My friend, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you enjoyed today's content, here is some more videos you are sure to enjoy. Thank you again so much for watching. You're amazing. Bye.